welcome back for another video. Today we're going to be answering more of your questions.
Yes.
This is the third one, isn't it? I think that we've done.
It's the third, yes,
yeah.
It's the third of them, yes.
So, we went on Facebook and we asked what people wanted to see, and we went through and selected a few questions that we thought we could answer.
Yes. Some of them kind of were, let's review Series 8. And it's like, well, we did that earlier.
Yeah.
Review Last Christmas.
We've done that.
Earlier. Dimensions in Time. We did that earlier. But yeah, oh god, the face recognition is capturing the Joker in the corner.
Excellent.
Oh god, that's really scary. Okay, yeah, so anyway, we're going to go through your questions now, and we're going to try and make sense of them. The first one is, what is our favourite TARDIS console room design?
Okay.
I like a couple that weren't featured in the TV series, like the hovering console.
That is nice.
That was going to be used for Sylve in Series 29, 8, 9, 7, whatever, in the series that was never made after Survival. I think it's smashing. It's really nice. You really like the Schalke one, don't you?
I like the Schalke one, yeah. My favourite one,
I think it's more of a case of like, which one would you travel through space and time in, really? I mean, as much as I'd like to say I'd like to travel in McGann's, because I like the Edwardian look of it, it's dark and creepy and I don't really like that. I'd like it to be a bit more kind of high-tech. So maybe actually Capaldi's.
Capaldi's
current one
is really nice.
Yeah. He wants more
like
roundels in it, but to be honest, I quite like it the way it is. I like the new hexagon kind of motif.
I like the bookcases at the back with the Gallifreyan text on the top, illuminated. And I like that bit underneath with the desk. He's got the little glass desk and the like workshop and things. Yeah, I really like that. Yeah, I do like McGann's. I think I like McGann's console more than the room.
Yes.
I mean, I like all the bookcases and things at the back, but yeah, it's like you said, it's a bit
dingy,
bit too dark.
Yeah.
And I could imagine it would just be a nightmare to imagine trying to use that week in, week out for episodes of Doctor Who.
Oh man, yeah.
They didn't think that through.
Do not adjust your set. It really is this dark in this set. Yeah. I'm quite happy going for Capaldi's current one, actually.
Yeah.
It's a nice mixture of the two.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, there's it is very similar, isn't it?
Would you have one with the smaller rotor or the one that goes straight up into the ceiling?
I quite like them going up into the ceiling.
Yeah. I didn't think I'd like that.
No.
I thought it was a bit too showy, and the console should be quite a small little contained area, but actually it does look quite nice.
It does look good.
Spiralling into the ceiling.
Yeah. If I was to say one that wasn't new series, that out of the old console rooms, that wasn't McGann, I reckon I'd go for the original Hartnell one.
That's funny, I thought you were going to say possibly Tom's one, the secondary console room.
Now, I like the console room, but I don't like the console. And it's not that I didn't like it, it's that without the rotor, it just doesn't feel right. I don't
like the buttons that much either, because there's no like lever. And you feel like you need a lever to kind of set it into motion.
Because it just looks more like a little desk, doesn't it, than anything else. But I do like the little doors and things that come down and stuff. So I think my perfect console room would be if that console room had McGann's TARDIS, had McGann's console in it. Yeah. Because you've got all the roundels still. It's got that. I like the wooden finish. It's
very nice.
It is like it is an Edwardian TARDIS, isn't it? Really. And the stained glass roundels. That's really nice.
Yes, they're very very cool. I like the big grand cathedral doors.
Yeah,
very
that
nice.
Sort of like light over the top, isn't it? Like sort of grated light. Yeah, it's really nice.
Okay, then what exterior would you have?
Exterior, I would have maybe McGann's.
I'd have McGann's.
Yeah.
I just think it looks smashing. It's like everything I'd like from an exterior is kind of there.
It's a nice prop.
I might go for a St. John's Ambulance logo on it.
Yeah.
Just to set it off a little bit, because it's quite dark.
It is dark, isn't it? Yeah.
So maybe if it was the colour of McCoy's or Davison's, but that shape with the St. John's Ambulance logo, I think that's
and all illuminated and stuff.
Oh yeah, the illuminated windows. That's one thing the TARDIS does do very well currently. Is the illuminated windows look lovely. Next one, 3 missing stories to be found. Well,
Power of the Daleks is the story that I want desperately to be found.
Power's the main one. I'd say I'd like to see the Massacre of St. Bartholomew's Eve.
That's good. a good story.
Purely because you were saying everyone speaks in accents and it's difficult to understand who's playing who.
Oh, it's not that they speak in accents; it's that they're all French characters.
Yeah.
And it's just so difficult to remember
Okay.
who's who
Right.
on audio. But if you watch a recon,
Yeah.
you can. It makes it better because
Okay.
I listened to it on audio once, and I was just like, I have no idea what's
Yeah.
going on here. But when you then watch it as a reconstruction and you have faces, it's like that
Right.
makes a lot more sense.
Okay. Cool.
But I think it's I think it'd be a very good historical story. I think
yeah.
it would be up there with like the Aztecs, something like that. It's
I love the
very
Aztecs.
good. Yeah.
Okay. So would you say Massacre as well, or would you replace that with another story?
Ooh, no. Let's see.
I'd quite like Evil back as well. Evil of the Daleks, but I think I prefer Power.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'd take Master Plan over Evil.
Oh yeah, Master Plan. Yeah, that's true. No, I do like.
Because of course that's a massive epic.
Yeah.
But I quite like the fact that we've got sporadic episodes of this massive sprawling epic. It's like one of those epics that was written in like the 1500s, and you just think like
you've
only got bits of the book left, and you just like
in the blanks.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what missing episodes there are now. Power of the Daleks. Pat Troughton stories do we now have missing?
Most of them. Macroterra.
Yeah, Macroterra. That's quite. I think the Highlanders I'd quite like to see.
Yeah, the Highlanders,
because I do like that story anyway. And it's obviously Jamie's first episode.
Yeah, and Jamie's quite an important character in the grand scheme of things.
So I have those two.
Okay.
For a third one, I don't know. Probably should say Hartnell one, shouldn't I, really? So I've said two Troughtons.
I think the other one that I'd want out of the two that I've already picked, I'd probably pick a Hartnell as one. Oh, I don't know. I can't really think of many Troughtons I'd like back, but I can think of a few Hartnells that I'd really like to see. I'd probably say Master Plan as well. So I'd say Power, Massacre, and Master Plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd say Master Plan as well.
Yeah.
Or would I say Marco Polo?
Oh, actually, yes. Okay, I'll replace Master Plan with Marco Polo, but I didn't think of Marco Polo.
Because it would be nice to just have that entire first
series of Doctor Who.
Obviously, Reign of Terror doesn't exist properly, but it's good enough, isn't it? That's why I never said something like 10th Planet Episode 4, because I thought, well, I'm happy, and I'm happy at the moment.
Yeah. Do you remember that horrible April Fool's Day prank that BBC Shop played?
Yeah, with the that
was evil. They posted on the BBC Shop for how it was up there for about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And they listed Marco Polo special edition DVD, and they've it was in the same packaging. They'd even gone to the lengths to design, which made me think afterwards. Was that really a prank?
Yeah.
Or was that an accident that they leaked it that day? But yeah, it was the right packaging for the BBC Shop special editions.
Yeah, the slipcase,
of the slipcase for Web of Fear and Enemy of the World. Exactly the same design, but it was Marco Polo. And they put it there for about 5 minutes, then got rid of it. But it was still there on like a cached form. And some people got in there and found it, and the picture was there. And what a shame! Did they ever admit to that?
I don't think so.
Maybe there's still hope there. I'd like to think maybe that was an accident and they've got it somewhere. They're just waiting to release it. Worst Doctor. Now, in all honesty, I don't think David Tennant. Done.
You don't think David Tennant? Who do you think?
David Tennant.
Oh, you think David Tennant is the worst Doctor? Oh, sorry, I thought you said I don't think.
No.
All right.
In all honesty, the 10th Doctor is my least favourite.
Yeah.
And it's sad when you see the first Doctor, like Will Hartnell, come at the bottom of lists. And it's like, but he's the original, it's just because people don't watch them.
Yeah. Whereas you've got these young whippersnappers. It's black and white. He's old.
Yeah, and Colin comes at the bottom, and Paul as well. But Paul's done better than a lot of other Doctors have with his audio dramas. Yeah. So
although now he's starting to creep up the list since Night of the Doctor.
Yes, which is nice.
He's become more interested.
I'm more aware of Dark Eyes because
mini-series, please, BBC.
Yes, thank you. Please, let's do that. Yeah, I mean, Big Finish have started to be advertised on the official Doctor Who Facebook page. Which is the very least they could do is advertise it properly. You know what I mean? But yeah, even at the end of there's at the end of certain TV shows they say there's some BBC books available. They say. The Further Adventures of the 8th Doctor are available on audio from Big Finish, and show it. It's nice, thank you very much. Yeah, 10.
Yeah.
Without hesitation, 10.
Which I know that's going to really annoy some people, because obviously I know there are people who are watching this who adore.
But that's because I think they grew up with him, probably.
Yeah.
More so than they grew up in the 80s as Doctor Who fans, or 70s, and their favourite Doctor is the 10th Doctor.
Yeah.
I think it's more of a case of people having grown up with the 10th Doctor.
Yeah.
That might not be the case for everybody watching,
no.
but I imagine for a lot of people watching out there, that's probably the case.
Yeah.
Can we justify our dislike of the 10th Doctor?
Yeah, okay. I don't like the 10th Doctor. I mean, I don't particularly like the performance at times. I think at times it's it can be a bit over the top. I think Tennant can be a bit over the top. David Tennant is an excellent actor.
Very good actor.
Very, very good actor. He's been in lots of different things, and other stuff that he's done is brilliant. I just think at times when he's playing the 10th Doctor, it just goes a little bit overboard. But I think there's a lot of that in that era anyway.
So who would ultimately be to blame for that? Would that be the director? Would it be maybe Russell?
I think it might have been Russell sort of saying, make it bigger.
Yeah.
Perhaps. So there's a lot of that, and like his gurning faces that he sort of pulls sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's that, but I think what I don't like about the 10th Doctor is his arrogance. And his arrogance... Now, people are going to turn around and say, well, hang on a minute, what about Capaldi, or what about the 6th Doctor? Yeah. But I think the 10th Doctor's arrogance is very different.
Yes, completely different, because they're cocky about their intelligence.
Yeah.
And the fact they are more superior than everybody else in the room, which is true.
Yeah.
Because they're the Doctor. It's not about... I'm the best looking bloke in the room, or this girl's looking at me a bit funny. All that kind of stuff. And I can't stand him because of the way he treated Martha.
Yeah, he was a salt, wasn't he?
He was awful to her. The whole thing, she was so justified in leaving him at the end of series 3.
Yeah.
And he's like, everyone leaves me in the end. It's like, is it any surprise that Martha left you at the end of series 3? You've been crap to her. And also, I mean, the last line. I mean, that's not Tennant. I mean, we said earlier in a video that wasn't Tennant's. He didn't like the line. I don't care. It's not about Tennant. It's about the 10th Doctor to me. And the 10th Doctor's final line, basically, spat in the face of the idea of regeneration.
Yeah, it did.
And every other Doctor that had come before that. I'm sure Hartnell didn't want to go, and I'm sure Pat didn't want to go, and Colin certainly didn't want to go.
No, he didn't want to go.
And Silver was taken off TV before his time, and he didn't want to go. But you suck it up when you're regenerating. I mean, I know that's a circumstance of like outside the TV series, outside the canon.
Yeah.
But still, for the character to say, I don't want to go. Oh no, it's a new bloke that's going to come along, and he'll be rubbish. I said earlier, it's sabotaged Matt Smith's debut.
Definitely.
Because everybody thought, oh, he's not being rejuvenated, he's being replaced.
Yes.
And so people saw Matt Smith appear on the scene and went, well, he's replaced our favourite Doctor. We don't like him.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
That
hung over his head for, if not the whole of his run, then at least the first 2 seasons that he had.
Yeah.
That was constantly nipping at his heels. That omen of, I've just replaced Tennant. And that whole thing about, I mean, probably because Doctor Who wasn't that big at the time, but you never heard Tennant saying it, big shoes to fill, with Eccleston, because obviously he played the part so well. And I know it's Matt Smith being very nice and gallant, but the whole thing about, I'm stepping into some very big shoes here, he's a very loved Doctor, didn't help.
No.
The fact that people just didn't take to him.
Yeah.
And still haven't taken to him. It's so sad people stopped watching the show
because of
after Tennant left. I mean, they probably talked about this when Tom Baker left.
Yeah.
It's the same impact,
Yeah.
It's just the modern day equivalent, and the fact that the 10th Doctor, by comparison to the 4th Doctor, pales.
Yeah, of course, definitely.
There's
that. Is the final line is awful. Like you said, I mean, that isn't regeneration. Regeneration isn't about, because he says, I hate that discussion that he has with Wilf about saying, it feels like I'm dying.
Yeah, and then some other guy goes swaggering off in my clothes, and it's like, that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, you're not dying.
You're not dying. You'll still be there.
You're renewed. It's helping you live.
I think Stephen's lines that he wrote for Matt in The Time of the Doctor kind of went back and said, it's not about that.
Yeah,
what it's about is I remember every single day that I had with this face, and you know, I'm scared that I'm regenerating, but it's, you know, it's fine. I'm not going to forget that I was the Doctor. It's almost like Tennant saying, nobody will remember me. Yeah. Well, not Tennant. I keep saying Tennant. It's the 10th Doctor. No one's going to remember me. Oh, I'm really sad about this now. It's that they will. Don't be stupid. Like, I mean, you've messed up enough people's lives as it is. They'll definitely remember you. So yeah, that's my beef with the 10th Doctor. Yeah.
Other things I don't like about him, again, it all seems to be in, a lot of it seems to be in that final episode.
Yeah.
His when he thinks he's escaped dying and he's like, yay, I'm alive, and then you've got Wilf going, and he's like, oh, it's not fair, it's not fair. Oh, shut up.
Yeah.
God, you like a kid.
It is like, I'm young and beautiful, and some other guy's going to come along, and of course they take the piss out of his face straight away. Matt Smith, look at his chin. He's not young and beautiful, but he's young. He's not beautiful like David Tennant is, and all this kind of stuff.
I don't think David Tennant is that.
He's not that much of a
good-looking man at all.
He's the Tumblr crowd, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, anyway, so there's that. There's that whole arrogance. Because
Capaldi's better looking than Tennant. He is. Peter Capaldi's better looking than David Tennant is.
Colin Baker's better looking than. I think Colin Baker, when he was a younger man, was quite a handsome chap.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. And
his porno moustache, if you've seen
yes, brilliant.
Because the thing is, with Colin Baker's Doctor, although he's very arrogant, if he was in that position and Wilf was going to die, the 6th Doctor would say, no.
Absolutely. It's fine.
I will save you. And Capaldi would do it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
He might go, oh, you stupid sod.
But
he'll say, you know.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's Wilf. It's like, I'd gladly step in and be like, I'll bite the bullet for you. It's fine, mate. Don't worry. I will die for you. And he's like, no, I've got to save this old man.
Wilf should have turned around and been like, oh no, fine.
Like, fucking don't worry, I'll stay in here. Don't you swan off then.
It's not like you can just regenerate and live for another 1,000 years.
It's not like he did it out of the kind of his heart. It's like, oh, it's destiny. I've got to save this old guy now. Oh, but I better get
like a duty. Like, oh, I've got to do it.
It's not a duty to save somebody. I mean, I haven't seen that episode for a while. He might have he might have gone, you know, actually, I did the right thing, you know. But yeah, all I can think of is just his face when he sees Rose. He's like, "You're gonna have a really great year," all that kind of stuff. Yeah, and Billy Piper's there, and it's like, "Is that Billy Piper?" I just got a new set of teeth in. That's it. Okay. But,
sorry, I'm going on about this one. The other thing was, it's that whole regeneration is so drawn out as well. They make such a big deal of it. Oh, isn't he wonderful?
The Time Lord victorious and all this kind of stuff. I didn't like that as well. Is he a funny little Cockney chap, or is he a lonely god? Yeah. You know, all that kind of, is he the last of his vengeful god and stuff? No, he's not, because the next scene he's running around going, hey, look at Donna, soul kiss me, all this kind of stuff.
It's really irritating. It's like they didn't know what they wanted to do with him.
I think that's the problem. It's very inconsistent. Yeah. Inconsistently written.
When he's in the thing, that glass cabinet, and he gets all the radiation, and he like scrunches up into a ball. Yeah. He should have lifted his head up, and it should have been Matt Smith.
That's what I thought was going to happen.
Yeah, so did I.
And in the same way that in Time of the Doctor, I thought she was going to turn around and
he was going to be
Capaldi was going to be stood there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so much better.
Anyway. Right. So our next question is best titles and theme, which I was actually thinking about because I knew I wanted to answer this question, and I still haven't got a definitive answer because every time I kind of think, oh, that's not a very good title sequence or not a very good theme, I think, oh, it is, and I'm looking at it now. The title sequence that I dislike the most would be Troughton's. Yeah. I'm not a massive fan of Troughton's because it's like a retread of Hartnell's, and it's not quite as good as Pertwee's. Yeah. That's my problem with it. But I would say favourite title sequence is probably Pertwee's. If not Pertwee's, I'm going to bite the bullet and say Capaldi's.
Really? Wow, okay.
I like Capaldi's a lot. I don't think... Could I count McGann's as a title sequence?
I guess you can, sort of. Well, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the title sequence.
Even so, I don't think I'd I prefer Capaldi's over McGann's, and I love Pertwee's. Pertwee's is my favourite. How about you? Again, it's almost like that kind of thing of what would you have then? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Same with the TARDIS.
Because I do like Pertwee's.
Yeah.
Pertwee's is great.
The iconography of that title sequence has stayed. Even the logo is
logo,
still being used today.
The diamond effect.
Yeah, tunnel,
and
that's
the
really
nice.
Swirl at the end. I mean,
yeah.
you probably would have seen it in the opening titles for this video. That kind of effect.
Yeah, so, I mean, I do like a lot. I mean, I don't like Colin Baker's titles.
Yeah.
I like the music for Trial of a Time Lord that they use. I just don't like it's just because there's just so much colour.
The rainbow effect.
Yeah. And it just doesn't work.
No.
It just looks a mess.
It's like they've turned up every because I know they use refractions to create the stars and stuff flying past. It's like they've turned up the refraction level really high. Even when his face appears and it whites out. Yeah. It whites out so much that you. It's Colin Baker. Yeah, I can see him. I put my glasses back on. You know.
Yeah. I really don't like that one.
Is that your least favourite, you'd say?
Probably, yes. I just think it just doesn't work.
Could you in any way say that you prefer Tom Baker's final title sequence over Davison's? Because they're exactly the same. Would you class them as two different title sequences even though it's just a different face?
No, it's not. We can't really do it, can you?
No.
They are basically the same.
They're the same, it's just a different face in the title sequence.
Very
Same
odd
logo.
choice of Tom Baker's face that they use in that.
Yeah,
it's
kind of like, what's that over there? It's like every photo ever taken of Peter Capaldi.
Yeah.
Where he's just with a fan. He's like, what's that over there? Oh, you've taken the photo. Thank you very much. Yeah.
And if you've seen the other pictures from that shoot, you know they've got him grinning and stuff.
Yeah.
Why didn't you use that?
Yeah.
I guess he wasn't really very happy in that season.
No. Well, it's the very strange.
The happiest you'll see me.
Yeah. Okay.
Favourite one. I mean, I do like the Hartnell one because it's like the original, isn't it? It's been the inspiration for a lot of them.
It still scares me. That's the one that scares me the most.
Yeah, there's something.
It's about the creeping.
Exactly.
Oh, it started.
Yeah, there's something magical about that.
I could never, even about the age of 11, 12, I had to skip the first couple of bars of the Hartnell title sequence because I was like, I don't like listening to that. It's the creeping kind of. Oh, it's coming. Yeah. Oh, it's starting. You know.
Yeah, but favourite one. This is gonna surprise a lot of people, but the sequence that I like a lot. I like McCoy's sequence.
Yes. No. Yeah.
I was listening to The Harvest.
Yeah.
On the bus the other day, and they had the theme music. And I was just there.
You could see.
And I could see it. And I was like, this is so good. Why don't we get a title sequence like this again? Because it's a proper journey.
It is,
It's a real helter-skelter ride of...
It is.
We're going through this galaxy. And we've got the TARDIS in the bubble spinning round. I even like the wink.
Yeah, the only title sequence that's ever kind of managed to almost capitalise on that was Matt Smith's 7B one. Yeah. Which I liked. I liked it as well. I love the face in the nebula. That's probably the best integration of the face in the title sequence.
I think it could have been there a bit longer because it goes so quick. The first time I saw it, I was like, "Oh,
I quite like that though."
Oh, do you?
Because it's mysterious and subtle, and I think that's the nice thing about the 7B 11th Doctor is that the title sequence sums him up perfectly. He's quite nebulous and quite mysterious, more so than he was, doing the whole head slapping, Amy, that kind of thing. Yeah.
So I like McCoy's.
Okay, and theme tune.
Theme tune. Ooh.
I'm going to say it's the one, I can't remember exactly which version it is, because there are lots of different versions of the same basic tune. Not just, like the synth versions, but different retreads and different remixes of it. The dubstep one from Dimensions in Time. Yeah. It's got to be up there. No. Cyberpunk Doctor Who theme. I would say probably the Pertwee one. Because I was watching it the other day. I can't remember what story it was, but I was lying in bed and I was watching it, and I just got a sudden pang. I get it every so often. This pang of nostalgia, walking around the Longleat exhibition, and hearing the theme playing in the background on a loop, and I just get this pang of this feeling of, that's Doctor Who. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think it's the Pertwee one, the one with the stutter at the beginning.
Yeah.
I'll tell you which story it was. I got that from. It was Ambassadors of Death.
Oh.
And I don't know why, but I just got that kind of lurching your stomach wig. I remember, you know, how I felt when I was X years old, walking around the experience and all that kind of stuff. I
think favourite theme for me, I mean, I like a lot of the themes,
yeah.
I'll be honest. I think the one that I probably like the least...
Matt's first one?
Matt Smith's first one. That was just shit.
I don't like any of the Tennant ones. Like the Voyage of the Damned one.
Oh yeah.
With the because every time you hear someone do a remix or their version of the Doctor Who theme, they use the same as sheet music for it, and it's the Murray Gold, Eccleston onwards one. And I just think, just change it up. You don't have to use that. There are much better arrangements of that theme, or there are different arrangements of that theme.
Favourite music. It would have to. It's either going to be the original Hartnell one, or like you said, the slightly remixed version that they used for sort of Trenton Pertwee Tom.
Yeah. I think that's the one.
It's the Delia Derbyshire theme.
Yes.
Will forever be, I think, the
original,
the best.
And it's sad that it's not incorporated enough.
Yeah.
Because you can sort of sometimes hear it coming through.
Yeah. Even
if it's not the original recording, you can hear elements of what made that theme so great coming through. I mean, I think the best one to capture that alienness in most recent years has been the Capaldi one, which I've grown to adore. Really? I really, really like the Capaldi theme. I mean, later in the years it might creep up the list. Definitely not to the top.
No.
But it will definitely, I mean, for me personally, it definitely already has surpassed the Howell version.
Really?
Yeah.
I prefer the Howell version. I love Peter Howell's theme.
Yeah.
Do you know that Peter Howell's theme was the only one that Delia Derbyshire liked?
Yes, she hated Kefs.
She hated Kefs.
Yeah.
And I assume she didn't like Dominic Glynn's either.
That's funny because Dominic actively went out to do one that was the closest to Radiophonic Workshop that he could have done, and he still didn't like it. Imagine what she would have thought of this big, new, bombastic orchestral soundtrack.
I think she probably would have hated it.
Yeah.